to the State of X. State of X. State of X.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the State of X podcast. This is a podcast where we talk all things social experiment wrestling and shine a nice little spotlight on some very cool wrestlers in the independent scene. I'm your host, Cody Tiano. Welcome you once again to this episode, and we have a phenomenal episode planned out for you. But before we get into all that, of course, if you love the podcast, and I really hope that you do, hit that like button, maybe even hit the subscribe button. That way you always get notified when we post these. We post these once a month, and I'm hoping to get it to twice a month so I can talk to even more wrestlers. And God willing, I can eventually quit my damn job and do this full time to entertain all of you folks. But we will get there. But for now, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if there's any wrestlers in the independent scene. Maybe even if you got a line on a professional that wants to come onto this little podcast. Leave it in the comments who you want to see. I'll try to reach out to them, get them on the podcast. And of course, if you want to come to a live show, and I definitely recommend you do, we have Sumner Slam coming up September 5th in Sumner, Iowa. It is always a good time out in Sumner, and we've got a phenomenal lineup of wrestlers coming onto that show. So follow all things Social Experiment Wrestling at Social Experiment Wrestling on all the various platforms, including right here. And if you want to see me on the road, and, I guess I would also recommend you do that, please and thank you. I would appreciate it greatly. You could follow me at Tiano Comedy. I am going to be in Kansas City, Missouri, because it's Kansas City, Kansas. I'm going to be in Kansas City, Missouri, August 28th, so just a couple of weeks after this comes out at Gale's Public House. So make sure you come out to that show August 28th. And of course, come out to Sumner Slam in Sumner, Iowa for our for a wrestling show in there. I'm sorry, your boy is having a day. I'm always having a day, but you know what? I think that's it for housekeeping. Let's just jump right into the show to entertain you folks. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest has held multiple tag team titles. He has been a thorn in the side of many wrestlers, including those in Social X. But you know what? I say he is just a true American that is protecting us from the real threat, the Canadians. Please give it up for my guest, Mr. Mason Greyskull. Mason, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad. How's your day going?
Can't complain.
Can't complain.
If I did, no one would listen.
What's that?
I said if I did, no one would listen.
That's fair. Well, you've certainly you've had your bouts with Social X. We always love having you on there. And like I said, you've protected us from what I feel like you saw as a threat, but also we had some interesting turnabout with some of our recent shows at like the Ballpark Beatdown. You had your back and forths with very own friend of the show, Ryan Slade. And it was almost to the point where you were outside of the ring attacking him. What was sort of the beef between the two of you? Was it just like, two dogs see each other across the street and you're like, I have to get after that?
Well, I don't know if well, here he comes.
Immediately.
I don't know if you caught what happened at Ballpark Beatdown.
I saw there was a little bit of a reconciliation.
I kind of changed my mind a little bit about Ryan, and as Chucky Bates was attacking him after the match, I helped him out and saved him from that post-match beatdown. Honestly, I think the whole thing between me and Ryan was, I have to just chalk it up to envy, to jealousy. Me and him have met in the ring a total of 4 times now. I've came out on top once, and he has bested me 3 times. I tried to take every shortcut in the book that I could take, and I still could not beat this man. I have to respect that. I figure if I can't win my way, maybe I'm just not as good as Ryan is. Maybe there's something to learn from Ryan. So maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong that's not getting me to the level that I want to be at. And sometimes you just have to take all your excuses, take all the BS, throw it out the window, and just earn things. And I think that's what Ryan has done. So I ended up having a little bit of a change of heart. And I think I'm going to be following that example going forward.
I did not expect to see a lot of growth and humility coming from Mason Greyskull. I mean, granted, as I always say, I'm still new to Social X. You seem like the, you know, take take nothing, leave nothing behind, leave everything in the ring, and like even takes more than you ask for kind of guy. But I think this shows real growth from even the few moments that I've met you, and I think that's something really to be admirable qualities. Ryan Slade is a fantastic wrestler. We obviously love having him there. So you've held multiple tag team titles. Do you see a future where you could be working with Ryan Slade, like in the ring?
I mean, never say never, right? Right now, he's got his shot against UMEX, so he's got to do that,
That's fair.
and we'll see what happens down the line here. But I wouldn't mind tagging with Ryan Slade. I've definitely got some tag team experience. Someone wants to say hi.
It's the star of the show. For those that have been
Yeah,
to social experiment wrestling shows, you might see Mason walking back and forth during matches, taking care of this one. Mr. Pants has
Mr.
made
Pants. That's
his
right.
appearance. So, we were gonna save it, but he wanted to be on camera and star of the show for at least a little bit. So let's give his moment in the spotlight. Tell me about this little fella. Tell me about Mr. Pants. How old is he?
He is a little bit shy of 2 years. He'll be 2 years old in December. I've had him since he was like 10 weeks old. He was
Oh,
probably about this big.
it's
Um,
crazy how big they get, or how
yeah,
quickly they
and
get
he's
big.
he's 50 pounds and he still thinks he's a lap dog. So it's a good thing I go to the gym and lift, isn't it?
That's fair. My big boy is 60 pounds and he feels the exact same way.
Yeah, so I mean he goes with me to as many shows as I can bring him to. Um, Oh, funny story. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was at OVW in Louisville, Kentucky, and I was gonna have a dark match to start out the show. And this is my third time there. I've been there before. There's people backstage had their little lap dogs with them and all that. But I don't know if you've been kind of keeping up with the news on social media that OVW is being kind of looked at as like a developmental territory for TNA now.
Okay.
So apparently they sent out a memo. I didn't get the memo that there wasn't going to be any animals allowed there anymore.
Yeah.
So half the people who were tailgating outside had already met him, played with him, and at 5 in the afternoon, they told me I have to go take him back to the hotel.
Oh
And so I
no.
take him back to the hotel, and I'm fighting to get back there because my match is 6:05. So I get back there, and all the people out front had seen that I had to take him, that they told me to take him to the hotel. They kind of protested. They started a Mr. Pants chant right in the middle of my match.
I love that. Everybody's a fan of Mr. Pants.
Yes. I think pretty soon I might get him some gear here.
Yeah, some Mason
We
Greyskull
might get him
merch.
some flashy MGS gear.
So, has there ever been? How does Mr. Pants feel about his dad wrestling? Or I don't know if you refer to him as your baby or anything like that.
Yeah, he's usually pretty good with it. I don't usually someone in the crowd takes care of him or someone backstage takes care of him. He has seen me wrestle. He has been around. Um, I was doing a graduate training at Black and Brave one time, and I brought him there. And I asked my trainer Matt Mayday, "How did he do?" And he goes, "He did pretty good, except when you were getting your ass kicked, he looks kind of sad." Uh, but he does pretty good. I brought him to a show one time where somebody was banging together trash can lids, and he didn't like that. I did take him out of the venue for that, but he usually does pretty well at these places.
Well, that's good. He's getting a little used to being around the shouting and the hooting and hollering, just not when somebody starts to bring props to it, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. He loves going there. He's weird dog. He hates car rides. He hates
Really?
getting in the car. But he always loves it whenever we get to where we're getting. So he'll just play with everybody and everything and smell everything and
Ha-
enjoy all the new places.
Does he go
He's
on?
been as far as Boise, Idaho with me before.
Okay, that was gonna be my question was does he go on these long road trips with you? Because you've been places like, I think the last long road trip you were California. I saw at one point. I don't know if that was your
May I
last
was in
one.
California just the other month. I did Boston and I did New York. He didn't come for Boston and New York, but
Okay.
nor did he come for California because I flew to California. But uh,
Okay.
I think Boise was the longest trip I took him on. That was a 2 day drive.
How did he take that?
Um, he had a lot of fun when he got there.
That's fair. So you usually try to find like hotels that are accommodating to dogs, or do you just kind of like nap in the car and then drive the rest of the way?
No, it's usually I'm too old to do the sleeping in the car stuff. I do the hotels. I usually find a dog friendly hotel. Believe it or not, there's a lot of them out there. So
Okay.
they usually just charge like an extra $25 a night or something like that. And so,
Is he pretty well trained? He hasn't had many accidents in the hotel?
oh no, he's good.
Okay. Because, yeah,
When I took him back to the hotel in Louisville and went back and did the show at OVW, when the show was over and I went back, he was just there laying on the bed waiting for me.
that's good. I don't think I can take mine do very well with car ride. He gets a little excited for car rides, but I I don't think I can take him anywhere because for fans of the show that have seen him occasionally just off to my side, he's half bloodhound, and so the second he gets riled up, he will be louder than everyone in there, which might be good for a wrestling show, but I can't take him to a comedy show. He'll just ruin the vibe.
Yeah.
That and he's a little bit of an anxious boy, where yours doesn't like the trash cans being smashed together. For some reason, mine's weird. He hates squeaky toys.
Oh wow.
Like he's
Yeah, he'll play
terrified.
with the squeaky toy all day long.
Mine will the second he hears like even if he hears a squeak from like the phone, because occasionally people will do that for like a transition or something like that. If he hears a squeak, he'll go into the other room and almost try to hide, which is
Hmm.
I'm not sure what that came from because I've had him since he was 8 weeks old, and he just turned 11 last month. So I've had him forever. He's been with me, and I would say he's my emotional support, but he has almost as much anxiety as I do, if not more.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Pants, you got him from a shelter, or is this
No, I got him from the ASPCA.
okay?
I went to a friend of mine was putting on this puppy yoga event at a bar in Moline.
Puppy yoga.
And I had the mind that I was going to get another dog soon. Um, but it had been probably a couple years since my last one passed away. But I usually get them like 1 or 2 years old.
That's
I
fair.
never ever got a puppy before, but ended up adopting them from that puppy yoga thing. And I'm like, well, here we go. Here, let's let's learn what it's like to have a puppy. And yeah, the first few months are pretty unique.
Yeah,
I've had single mothers tell me that sometimes a puppy is harder than a baby. Because at least when a baby's waking you up all night, and the puppy does that too, but like the baby won't chew everything in the house up.
that's true. I've had plenty of moments when Buster was a baby, like before he just had the run of the house. Now that he's older, we used to kind of just box off a little spot in the hallway and with a baby gate. And there was one day I came home and he had licked all of the plaster off the drywall. He was just nonstop in one single spot, probably all day, like it was a jawbreaker, and licked a hole into the plaster.
Oh wow.
And I've got a little one as well. She's a dachshund, and when she was maybe a year old, uh, at one point, what's the most PC way of putting it? Some treats from Missouri, where it's legal. She Buster had knocked it off the counter where I'd set it, and she ate a full 100 milligram brownie, and she was maybe 10 pounds, not even 10 pounds, and
Oh,
she ate
it's been out for like a week.
pretty much. She was like on her back, just completely out of her mind for like 2.5 days. I had to cancel my shows. I just stayed in bed with her, and she was high the entire time. It was it was wild. So yeah, puppies can be a handful, but as a man with two daughters that are one almost a teenager, I think I prefer the dogs. Not I love my girls. I'm saying like take raising them. It was much harder with my girls than it was raising my dog cuz yeah, it was like with kids. I mean, uh, as people on the show know, my wife is half Puerto Rican, so they get that fire from her. And there was a couple of times, quick trip to the emergency room because sisters fighting and one stabs the other with a pencil.
Oh God.
You don't get that with a dog.
No, no, they don't talk back.
That too. They look back at you like they want to talk back to you, but they never do. So, with you traveling so much, like, has there ever been like, because I mean, obviously, we know from Social X you've been known as a heel for a few matches. I would imagine with your other wrestling bouts outside of Social X, you might be a heel here and there, and you're quite good at it. Has there ever been a moment where occasionally see these videos of people taking it a little too seriously and getting involved? Has there ever been a moment where you've played a heel too well where someone has tried to get involved in the match?
That happened to me at Social X.
Really?
Yeah, that was in Reedland. It was probably about a year ago. I'm trying to remember. I was who was it? I was teaming with Santana and AJ O'Callahan, and
Okay.
we were fighting the Revolution in a six-man tag match. There came a spot in the match where I was getting a chair out of the crowd when I was outside the ring. I went to pick up a chair, and this 50-year-old lady just hung on to it for dear life. And I'm trying to rip it out of her hands.
Was it her
And,
chair or?
and no, it was the chair next to her. It was empty. Um, and so I'm trying to grab this chair, and I just get in her face and I go, "Look, lady, it's part of the show. Let go of the chair." Right? Um, and she just refuses. So
Really?
I set that chair down. I just go like this, set that down. I grab another empty chair, pick it up, and I go to do my thing, and then I see Rampage Santana just swoop by me, and I hear this big clank. He grabbed it. Apparently, she picked the chair up and went to try to hit me with it.
Oh my god.
And the next thing I see is I see at the corner of my eyes, I see Jason Pringle and Matt Miller like running by me because she's still trying to get to the chair.
She is on a hell path to get
I'm,
you with
I'm,
that chair.
I'm telling the referee, you can turn around now. And the ref goes, I don't care about the spot. She's still trying to hit you.
How old was this woman?
She's probably in her 50s.
Oh my god.
I don't know what happened. Maybe she was drunk. I have no idea.
Had to be.
But yeah, she did not want me to pick up that chair next to her. I don't know what it was, but it got her mad.
Did she at least give you like a clever 80s line before that? Like, hey, you want the chair? Have it before she smashes you? Or just tried to
No, she
blindside
just
you?
wouldn't let her clutches off of it. So I just thought, okay, I'll grab this chair right over here. Just put it down, grabbed a different chair.
Oh
And
my god.
actually she came trying to swing it at me.
Older
But
older
luckily
white
she didn't
women when
hit
they
me.
get older white women when they get some drinks in them, they get violent. At least some of them get violent. Like
I did get clocked twice by an 8-year-old at the ballpark show.
that makes sense.
I was kind of in his face, and he was bold enough to like really just wind back and open hand me over the face. And I was like, this kid won't do it a second time. I got real mean and I got in his face, and he didn't budge, and he just wound back.
Oh
The
my.
second time, you hear his mom go, "Cut that shit out, get back,
He
get
called your
back."
bluff. He called your bluff. Oh my god. I had there was a moment like speaking of old women getting violent, the one memory that sticks into my head all the time, I had a buddy whose mom works for a liquor store, and she got us tickets to a Barnstormers game, and so we were probably 4 or 5 rows behind the goalpost, and they give you like the cowbells at Barnstormers games because at one point they just say like, hey, whenever the opposing team's going for a field goal, you're supposed to ring the bells and try to get them to miss. Well, by the end of the game, the Barnstormers had lost, and one of the guys from the opposing team started taking a lap around the arena on the field and like just egging on the crowd, just trying to be a heel himself. And about 2 rows back and a few seats over, there's just this older woman who's got to be in her 60s, stands up, just cross-eyed as all get out because she's so drunk, and she takes that cowbell and just launches it at the guy, and he's not wearing a helmet, and it beans him in the temple. and,
Oh,
she, and she's just hollering at him as she hucked this metal cowbell at a player's head. it was Arena football is one of the most hilarious things to crowd watch at. Like, in and of itself as a sport, relatively entertaining, but like just watching the trash that watch it, love them. As a man who grew up trash himself, love that. The same game, there was also a guy that used his like 8-year-old son as a shield as he's almost getting into a fist fight with a guy behind him. Like they're arguing like damn near in each other's faces and getting ready to blows, and the whole time the guy has his 8-year-old son by the shoulders right in front of him, in between him and the other guy. I'm like, dude, move your son. Like, for one, you're like a good 2 feet over this guy. If he's going for your head, he's not gonna hit your son. He's hitting you. He's just gonna be in the way.
oh my gosh.
It's absolutely wild. So
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. People are interesting.
that's true. So with your traveling, has there been a place that you haven't traveled to that you want to go? You said you've been to New York, California. Is there one that's like on the checklist of like you really want to get to?
Um, I haven't seen Florida yet. It'd be nice to get down to Florida and maybe do something out there.
You're worried
Um,
about a wild crowd, and you just mentioned Florida. Might get somebody trying to bite you in the shoulder.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times I'm kind of here in this like four-state area in like the Midwest, and then just occasionally something peppers out there, and it's just really, really far away. Um, and that's fine. I mean, a lot of the traveling I've done this year has been to do a lot of TNA extra work too, so that's been a lot of fun. And if I can get usually if I can get like a day off somewhere in between there, it's nice to stop and see things. Like on the way back last time, I stopped at Niagara Falls and I had a blast doing
Oh,
that. So
okay. Has there is that like a thing that you do like if you're traveling you kind of look at what's around and see where you can sightsee or something in
um,
particular you do before shows?
I guess it kind of just it depends on the timing, how much time I have. Uh, like the the Niagara Falls thing was it was like if I stop, I'm not gonna make it back to Iowa tonight. I'm not gonna be in my bed tonight. But I don't have to be at the show tomorrow until like 1:30 in the afternoon. So I can get a hotel if I need to. And Niagara Falls is just one of those things where it's like, this is my first time I've ever been to New York in my life. Am I gonna have reason to go back there again? It's very far away. I might as well check it out. I'm here. I'm here now. So I
Right.
might as well see it.
See, I was in New York for a week and I never made it up there to do that. I was too focused on trying to travel around the city and find as many spots as I could. I wish I could have did
Oh
more
yeah,
like
I was lucky. I wasn't in the city. I went there to be at
oh,
Albany, so the whole
oh,
route was
okay.
90. It was all upstate New York.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that makes things easier. I know it was an old travel tip that I got a long time ago. Uh, because if I'm traveling like more than 4 or 5 hours, I try to book multiple shows for like the weekend. That way I'm at least like staying in the area and I don't have to worry about driving back home that same night or paying for a hotel. And it was always find one thing, like set a goal for yourself, like, oh, I have to find like a band shirt or something like that while I'm in town. That way you can go to various shops and like look around and occupy your brain. Because the second I sit and start rotting in a hotel watching Food Network, I'm gonna lose my shit. As much as I love Food Network, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't have a ton of time to just sit around in the hotel when I'm traveling. You think about it, I might get somewhere 2 in the afternoon, check into the hotel. I got to be at the venue by 3. We're putting on a show during the evening, and by the time you get back, it's minimum 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So,
That's true. There's not many
um,
wrestling shows that kind of do like a multi-day event.
yeah, and when I do that, it's usually if I do the TNA extra work, I'll be there for a few days, but we are, when I say we're working, when I say television is different, it is different. We are working 12, 14 hours a day.
Oh,
Go, 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 go. There is, you don't get like breaks to go out and play tourist. There's a lot that goes into producing a television show, and there's a lot that needs to be done. So those are pretty intense days. It's a lot different. It's not, I know some people have done WWE and AEW extra work where, from what I hear, you just kind of sit in catering and wait for them to say, we pick you, we pick you, we pick you. Um, the actual extra work on TV is only a small sliver of what you do when you do that job at TNA. You're very much so crew, um, and you're put to work.
is that something that you enjoy doing at least, like being a part of the crew and
I actually do. I've done it like 6 times now. And I think I'm going to do it again in September in San Antonio. But
okay.
I mean, it's gotten to the point to where many of them have my number in their phone, and I've done it enough times to where if I'm on one of these loops, I'm getting texts from them. Hey, can you get a group of guys and have them go do this? Can you get a group of guys and have them go do that? And just they just kind of have me like wrangle things for them. So I enjoy it. I've got to meet a lot of good people there. I've got a lot of good feedback. I recently got to have a tryout match there and get feedback from the talent.
Nice.
So the tryout matches, they just have, it's right after the talent meeting, um, earlier on in the day, and they just have all the TNA superstars there sitting there watching you have a match, and they give you, a lot of them will give you feedback on it, which is great. So
Was there a certain talent in particular that you were really hoping to get feedback from that you managed to get?
not so much. I just wanted to get as much feedback as I could. Some of them just kind of went right back and got lunch. Some of them hung around. Like Mustafa Ali was uh, he was very much so gonna give feedback regardless. He's like, "Hey, get your group over here." You know, there's some that really want to, and then there's others you can ask. There's some that just screw it. They just go back to lunch. You just sit there because they have to sit there. Um, but no, I got some good advice from Rich Swan, from Ricky Sosa, from Mustafa Ali. I had to ask my homegirl Maggie because she's there. So um, it's just, it's kind of a strange thing, like going and doing extra work for TV, and you just see your friend you were doing a bunch of shows with on Andy every time you go. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, and I've gotten some great feedback, and that opened the door for the whole OVW thing in Louisville. So I'm grateful for it. I try to get there as much as I can.
That's awesome. So, is this something that's like, how long have you been doing like TV spots and like working with these guys? This your first year doing it, or
Yeah, I think it was last September that I did it for the first time in Minneapolis.
okay,
And then at the end of that loop, they said, "Hey, it's the same process, the same emails you submit, but just if you ever want to do another one, just say you add to your email, I've done this show with you guys or whatnot, or a list of I've done this time with you guys."
okay, kind of
So
like
it's,
comics giving credits.
yeah, so it's kind of like now now when I apply, I just go ahead and book the flight and I book the hotel because they let you know like a week before, and there's no exceptions to that rule. But I've done it so much at this point, and I know that I'm trusted there, so I just go ahead and book the stuff because it hasn't happened to me to where like I haven't got chosen for it. So um, I usually just count on it coming in, and regardless, I can cancel the hotel. I can get a flight credit if I need to, but generally they know me now, and so they see my name come through. They usually choose me because I do go there and I work my ass off for them.
Good. Well, yeah, and you definitely seem like the most important thing is making sure they know you're available. Like
Yeah,
responding to them is definitely like a huge thing of like them having your number and being like, "Hey, can you do this?" Saying yes and going out there to do that is definitely an important thing as a performer. I tried doing that especially so much during my first year of comedy and a lot in my second year when I managed to get out onto the road, having a couple of bookers being like, "Hey, can you do this?" And there was a few times that it bit me in the ass, like where I drove like 18 hours to New Orleans to do a show, and then come to find out they had booked it during Mardi Gras, and then they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna cancel the show," and then it took them like 3 days to pay me, and so I drove all that way for almost nothing. I did get to hang out at Mardi Gras, so there was that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you would be surprised. It's most I think most people that come through those doors and do that extra work are um are pretty good, are pretty reliable. But I have seen the people who come in and then we get to the last day of filming and they didn't get chosen for the tryout match, so they just leave. Or like I've seen people who do get the tryout match, and then when we're done filming the show on the last day, I literally see them hiding in a corner so they don't have to load up the truck.
Mm,
Um, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff. We're talking about it like a semi truck, basically, the biggest
right.
box truck you can imagine, and packed to the brim, floor to ceiling, merchandise, makeup chairs, trainers' tables, the ring, obviously. Um, so I've seen people where it's you don't want them to come back. People do get blacklisted when they go there if they don't contribute and at least try,
Right.
so um but so that's I think that's why they have me back is because I just consistently try to put in the effort. And to be honest, I see a scenario and I've seen it happen to some people. Tommy TW3,
Right.
he's one person it happened to. He did a ton of extra work and now he's employed by TNA. Yeah, he does wrestle some like pre-show matches sometimes, but even outside of that, like he has a job, an actual like W2 job with TNA. And I think it would be really cool to make a living doing wrestling, whether it's in front of or behind the camera. So because I really don't care what it is, if it's in wrestling and it can pay all my bills, like I will say yes any day because it won't even feel like work to me.
Oh, absolutely. As somebody that's also trying to do anything and everything, like I even went back to school to try to get like a broadcasting degree, and I've been trying to delve into voiceover. I'm now doing this, and
Yeah.
fingers crossed that it kicks off, but I'm at least, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Well, I'm a guest on your show. It should kick off now.
Of course, yeah, this is our big bump. I finally got the
If
key
not
guest.
me, Mr. Pants will get him.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Pants is going to be the only one in the thumbnail. So, uh, I would imagine you've been wrestling for quite some time. I thought I saw some pictures. Do you also like teach wrestling? Because I know you were talking about like a graduating class. You posted some pictures. Do you
Oh, no, no, no. I don't teach wrestling, nor have I been doing it for that long,
really?
honestly. Yeah, okay. So here's the confusion that happens sometimes. I'm old, but that doesn't mean I've done it forever.
See, there's
Um, I trained at Black and Brave when I was 40. I'm 42 now. I'm about to be 43. So I've been doing it a little over 2 years.
okay.
And I'm not sure where you heard that I train people. Like,
Well, I saw the picture that you posted on social media of like congratulating the graduating class with like
oh,
the
okay.
various wrestlers. So I thought maybe there was either you were a part of it or you were like assisting with teaching it and being
So
an
I'll
older
go into
gentleman.
as much as I can,
Okay.
especially when there's a class. I'll go into Black and Brave because I live here in town, right? So
Right.
I'll go into Black and Brave and I'll kind of sit with the class and depending on what moves we're doing or what we're learning, sometimes he'll have like me or other graduates come in and demonstrate it on all the students and
Okay.
then have them go through the movements. So we have like a part to play in it if we're asked to help. But I'm not considered one of the trainers whatsoever.
I
I'll just
gotcha.
help like demonstrate a thing or two, um, if asked. And that it happens with every class. It happened with mine. We had grads that came in there and demonstrated things on us. So it's kind of the community aspect of it, and just like once you've been through it, giving back. And it's kind of a blessing to have it here because if I need to go roll around in a ring and practice and do something, I got a ring 5 minutes from my house that's open 7 days a week. Um,
Can't
Not many
complain about
people
that.
have that available to them. So
That's a hell of a
it's
thing.
I'm very, very grateful for that.
Well, now that you brought it up, what what posed a man in his 40s, not to say that you're not in incredible shape, going to the gym quite often. I by no means can make any sort of commentary on it, but like what kicked off a guy in his 40s to go, you know what, I'm going to get into professional wrestling?
Getting sober. I didn't get sober till I was 38. There's
Oh,
a
okay.
2 year waiting list for Black and Brave. There's the math. Um, I always wanted to wrestle. It was always like a pipe dream in the back of my head. But I spent a lot of years in a bottle and with some other substances. And I finally sobered up when I was 38. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. And then I moved out here and um, I thought about it for a little while. Like Black and Brave wasn't the only reason I moved to Davenport. There was others, but I thought, man, do I do this? Am I too old for this? Because I wasn't in shape either when I got sober. I was, I think, 280 pounds, and I was like 35% body fat.
Yeah, heavy drinkers don't tend to be the fittest.
So I had to use that almost 2 year wait period to get myself in shape. But
Okay.
I took it seriously and did it. But yeah, I decided to do it. It was a 2 year wait. So by the time I started, I was 40 years old. So
But that was always like a dream that you had in the back of the head. Like you grew up, did you grow up watching wrestling and it was kind
oh
of
yeah. Yeah, I grew up since like I started watching wrestling, I think around the time I was 10, probably around WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 10.
I
And
can
it was
assume some
always a thing I
inspirations.
enjoyed.
I can assume
Huh?
some inspirations that you've had, but I don't want to make any assumptions of another gentleman that has a skull in his merchandise. I don't want to make any assumptions that you might take inspiration from
Huh.
uh,
Now I'm curious what you mean because I have no clue what you're
a
talking
certain
about.
rattlesnake, maybe.
Oh, you know what? He was never my favorite.
No?
I did enjoy watching that feud during the Attitude Era, but he was never necessarily my favorite. He just to me it was like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were two to really watch for me.
I was trying not to make the comparison too much, given you're a bald gentleman with a fantastic beard, but also having skulls in your characterization. I was like, well, there's some crumbs there, but I didn't want to make too many assumptions. Mr. Pants is just taking over your camera.
Yep. Yes, he is. Yeah, no, that was never even kind of a part of the plan of anything with some of my moveset and some of the way that I wrestle. I've taken a little inspiration from like Big Daddy Cool Diesel
Okay.
because I'm not the small flying flippy guy. It's not in my arsenal.
Especially not in your 40s.
Yeah, and I mean I've got limited time to do this. I'd like to do this for 10 years if possible, get to 50. That's doing the flippy stuff. That won't happen.
Dude,
So
going
I
to
was
the
like,
gym is going to
who can
help you,
I
though.
who can I model after to still put on a good decent match and have it look good? And I thought, Diesel,
That's
Kevin Nash, right? Like
right.
he's just throwing around elbows. He's throwing around the big boot. He's got like these weird running Bronco Buster slide through thing in the second rope that he does. I don't know
Right.
what you want to call that. Um,
You still get
his
involved with
jackknife
some of the
powerbomb. I even used the powerbomb as a finisher for a long time. I just recently changed it because even some of the small guys don't know how to take it. So um, it's one you can't do on everybody. And even half of the guys that I could physically do it to myself without any assistance on their part, um, don't know how to receive it. So I ended up changing things up a little bit.
like, you still get up there and do some I guess you could kind of call it high flying. I think I saw, like, doing my research, there was a video that you were involved with where someone was doing, like, they were up on the turnbuckle and somebody had another in like a DDT style, and then the other person that was already in the headlock had another person getting ready for a suplex. And it's like
Oh, Tower of Doom.
Tower of Doom, is that what it's called? Oh
Yes.
my god, that
I've taken that once.
was that the one
So
time?
yeah, I've taken it one. I've 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 been in different positions of it. There's the
Okay.
guy on the bottom doing the power bombing. There's the guy in the middle doing the suplex, and there's the guy on top taking the bump.
Right.
Um, so I've only been the guy on top once, and that was a match at Central Empire Wrestling against the 319 with me and Victor against the 319. So um, it wasn't pleasant,
I
but
can
it wasn't as
imagine.
bad as I thought it was going to be. I was more nervous than I needed to be for that particular fall.
Well, there's a lot of trust involved in that, and if I had any sort of decent production skills, I'd be able to put the video right here for everybody to see, but eventually I'll get good enough for that. But there's got to be a lot of trust into doing things like that. I mean, wrestling in general, you've got to have that, but that seemed, I mean, Tower of Doom is the best way to explain a move like that. So you still get up there and you still manage to do some things, despite in spite of your age. I say, knowing I'm not even 10 years younger than you.
Yeah,
But
it's different. I try to stay in the best shape I can, but and I certainly don't feel like I'm in my 40s. I feel like I'm
of
younger than
course.
my 40s. But I guarantee, I see these 20-year-olds out here doing this, and I'm like, I know I can't keep up with some of that stuff. When I was in there that match, I told you the lady swung the chair at me or whatever
Yeah.
against those guys in the Revolution, Quest and Anthony, and they're doing a dive to the outside on me, and they're just coming at like full lightning speed. And I'm going, slow down so I can figure out where I'm at. Like some of these guys are just so quick um and powerful, explosive, I guess you'd say. They have those
Yeah.
just quick twitch muscles to them, like
Dude,
so.
I can't imagine those guys diving outside of the ring, like especially when there's hardwood or concrete outside of that. Like I jumped off the bumper of my semi truck like a couple months ago and I almost snapped both my knees. But I ruined mine from working construction starting at like 11 years old, and I was down on my hands and knees laying carpet for 8 years, so my knees are gone. And I didn't take care of it. So like that's one of the things I see younger wrestlers. I mean, I can't give any advice whatsoever. I'm barely keeping up as it is, trying to remember the names of moves and like even just people's names as I'm doing commentary. But like I try to tell them like, guys, real take care. Like I know you're working out all the time, but like also making sure eating right and fucking again, I'm not one to make fitness advice or anything like that, but just as somebody with a broken body, it's one of those I try to give advice where I can on taking care of yourself.
And no, and I think that's important because there's a couple reasons. I mean, number one, first and foremost, is we need to do the best to take care of ourselves because whether you know it or not, I'd be willing to bet that every single wrestler that you lay eyes on when you go to a Social X show or any indie show has at least one nagging injury. we work through a lot of like nagging injuries and a lot of pain. If it's not broken, we get in there and we do it, right? So as far as like kind of physical therapy and recovery and all that, taking care of yourself, that needs to be done. But number two, this is also an aesthetic business. And this is going to be a little bit of a strong opinion. And some people may not like it or may not share it. But I think um, to do this, you should look the part, right? It's not necessarily, you don't, your card to do this, your cardio just has to be good enough. Technically, you just have to be strong enough.
Right.
But it's also a very aesthetic business. Like when I go to a show and I see a kind of flabby guy in a t-shirt, I'm like, does this really come off as like a larger than life wrestler to me?
Right.
And it doesn't, right? It just comes off as like like kids would like wrestle on their trampoline or something. There's something to like the look of it. And I don't, and I'm not saying that you have to be like chiseled out of marble to do this,
I think you
but you
can.
should absolutely strive to be in the best shape and have the best look that you can.
I think you can sort of. While I agree with the sentiment there, I think there can be supplements, or not supplements, but like substitutes, and make up for it in other ways. Like, because you get a guy like Humek who is not
Right.
in great shape, but he has this charisma, this presence about him, being a monster. And so, like, he's not a guy that's just in a t-shirt, walking out.
Right.
It like you, if you can't make it to where you're Chris Masters and chiseled and everything like that, and you don't have to be, but there has to be something where you can substitute it along the way of, if you don't present yourself as a presence, you have to be a presence. You have to be boisterous, loud, make yourself
Right.
almost.
Yes. Yeah. I think the way to put that is that character has to make up for it.
Yes.
Like we don't see even the WWE, we don't see a ton of it. We see there's the Kevin Owens, right? Not the most in shape guy, but he is very athletic and agile. And it's his character.
Yeah.
People are sold on who he is. I guess there's that new NXT guy, Mason Rook or whatever.
Okay.
But he can do like the most amazing crap, even though he's just got a big old body. So I will see where that goes, but they're far and few between. So they're very, very typically character dependent. But like Humek does a great job. He
Oh
plays
yeah.
it well, and he's in the shape he needs to be in to do this. He's in. He can do this at a very high level.
Right. Despite like
Um,
being his size, he can still. I mean, we saw him at the Riverhawk Rumble going outside the ring and going everywhere with Rhino, a guy who's his same size, and they're keeping up, and there
yeah,
wasn't a pause in the action.
yeah. So I'm not necessarily saying that there's not a place for that. There is. I just think that most people should strive to be in the best shape they can. And there's cases for that. I mean, look at Yokozuna. Yokozuna was always entertaining
Oh,
to watch, and the man was 500 pounds.
oh yeah, and even
Um,
guys like Rikishi.
yeah. And there's a place for it, but it's just I think for the most part, I guess what I'm trying to get at mainly is that like I see a lot of guys that don't really take working out seriously, don't really take their diet or their nutrition seriously. Um, Kind of just wing it all, right? And like that shows. That
Yeah.
always shows. Um, so I don't know. I just try to like I said, it's a strong opinion. It's my own opinion, so I try to hold myself to a high standard and follow it.
Oh, for sure,
Uh,
we're gonna clip you out and take this completely out of context. That way, we get this to go viral.
do it. Do it, man.
we're gonna we're gonna make it. We're gonna cut it like you're calling someone out specifically, something like that. We're gonna clickbait the hell out of this interview.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
on that, I'm sure Mr. Pants has had some. He's got his cuddle time, but there's only so much you can do in a computer chair, and I've got mine occasionally whining behind me. We are out of time, but before we take off, Mason, let people know where they can find you. Give your social media if you want to give it. Upcoming shows, all that.
Um, Facebook is at MGS Wrestling. And Instagram is at Mason.Greyskull. Those are the two I use. I haven't got technologically advanced enough to figure out TikTok yet, so those are the socials. Upcoming shows this weekend, I will be in Decatur, Illinois, for like a semi-annual toy drive thing. Um, Saturday the 15th, I'll be very close to home in Durant, Iowa, at a firefighters festival for SCW Pro. And then the 22nd, the following Saturday, I will be back in Cedar Rapids for the IMF show at Backyard Barbecue.
Nice. All right, we're definitely gonna check those out. And if you if you've got those different social medias, even if it's TikTok and you somehow manage to find Mason on there, give him a follow. Thank you so much for sticking around and interviewing with me and dealing with puppy paws digging into your legs and all of that. And be sure to thank Mr. Pants properly for joining in on the interview. I know he was
Say thank you, Mr. Pants. He's over there. He's over there.
perfect. He's eyeballed the camera enough times that I can get a thumbnail for it. All right, Mason, thank you so much for joining me. Have a good night, man.
No problem, man. You take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest prays 3 times a day facing towards Flavortown. He is a slammin', jammin' man about food. He is, as he states, 800 quarter pounders with cheese in weight. So please give your respect to my next guest, Mr. C.C. Baker, aka, or not aka, Chris Condon, aka C.C. Baker. You boys had a long day. Chris, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, not a problem. It's great to be on.
So I'm gonna get the question out of the way that I'm curious about, and I hope nobody's asked you, but I feel like somebody has. When you say 800 quarter pound cheeseburgers with the weight, are you factoring in cheese, bun, toppings, and everything, or just the burger?
Yeah. It's about 220 with all the stuff.
Oh,
So
okay, so you have factored all the weight and everything like that. That
I
was
mean, it's a guess.
it's a guesstimate. I get you. Who?
I only got 3 kids at home, so I have yet to need 800 burgers all at once. So
Well, that's just because you haven't invited me over yet.
that's that.
Joey Chestnut, eat your heart out. So, CC Baker, you're obviously a man. I mean, number one, you get the crowd completely hyped by coming out to Chapel Roan's Hot to Go and throwing. Is that all-purpose flour, or is it just kind of whatever flour you can get your hands on at the
Yeah,
time?
it's all-purpose flour. You can use it for anything. Making a cake, making some cookies, thickening a sauce, throwing it in your opponent's eyes. It's all-purpose.
That's got to be a hell of a. I mean, I know like Gold Dust had the spray on his. I forget what Gold Dust sprayed out, but like with you sweating and everything like that, all-purpose flour's just got to stick to
It,
everything in the ring.
if it gets you right in the face, whatever, yeah, it gets a little tacky.
Has was that kind of the idea of it, or was it more of the spectacle, or was the plan full on like you're gonna just gack somebody's eyes closed?
Oh well, I was just watching some old basketball highlights one day, and I was like, always seen LeBron James do his thing. So I was like, all right, I'll just start doing that in my entrance. And then for my wrestling, I usually like to keep things simple. And I was like, seeing all the green mist and all the variations on that. And I was like, I've never seen anybody just, use flour. And I'm sure it's one of those things that to me makes wrestling real. I bet people in the crowd can imagine what that's like to just have a handful of flour thrown in your face. And it makes that interaction with my opponent just more real for the viewing audience.
Somebody finally sees someone giving into those impulsive thoughts while baking.
Yeah, work in the kitchen, and some of those impulsive thoughts come out, and yeah, the mashed potatoes flying across the kitchen, just it'll happen.
Did you grow up like working in a kitchen? Is that where this kind of persona was inspired from, or?
No, I've always liked cooking. Well, I've always loved cooking and everything. I didn't cook a whole lot when I was a kid. I was just more involved as playing my PS2 and stuff and whatnot. Or you get home from football practice 6 o'clock, supper's already done. But I've always just been really intrigued with food and like the science behind food, and why Maillard reaction works, or why strawberries goes with chocolate but not something else or whatever. But and then during COVID, I had a little hiatus between wrestling. And me and my girlfriend got really into watching all of Gordon Ramsay shows, and it kind of just like hit me one day. They're like, man, if he just body slammed somebody, that'd be like, he talks a lot of smack. That'd be like a solid heel right there, or wrestler. And I was like, well, there you go. But for cooking, I've been cooking basically my adult life. I'm 33 now, and I've been in kitchens for all but 3 years of that full time. So
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there's a clip that always comes up on my For You page of I think it's uh not Kitchen Nightmares. It's the competition one, Hell's Kitchen.
health kitchen. Yeah,
Yeah, where like the second he eliminates somebody, the guy just starts getting right up in Gordon's face and
yeah,
like threatening him almost, and Gordon's just like, "Let's go to the parking lot right now." It's like, "I'm not
yeah.
scared of you." I'm like, "Oh damn. Like this Scott will wipe the floor with this guy."
Great. There was a time, I think it was during COVID, where he got with some indie company somewhere for wrestling, whatever, and like took a couple bumps, and Gordon Ramsay was like, "Screw that." Like,
So he can't actually take the hit. He's
yeah, yeah,
Although in fairness, there is not a lot of padding on that ring. As someone that was unfamiliar with putting together a ring and what actually that was on the mat, I wasn't aware that it
yeah,
was mostly just 2x4s with like that much padding.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
did
it and rings differ from one promotion to the next.
that's
Some
true.
you'll take a bump and it's just like butter. I'll bump in that all day, and then others, or if it's a little cold outside, or the ring was sitting outside in an unheated garage in the winter, and you got to show in December your match number one. Those rings will be bumping a little stiff.
Has there ever been a time where there wasn't like padding on top of the boards? It was just kind of board and then like a sheet covering it?
I'm sure for backyard, quote unquote, garbage wrestling, you on YouTube, you
True.
know, but um,
Usually you
I
hear a
think,
whoop whoop before that smack.
yeah, yeah. I wish AEW would sign that guy. I've watched his stuff for years.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
wrestling's all about, just to me, for me, it's whatever. Like, yeah, there's a lot of athleticism and stuff involved, but like first and foremost, like we're here to entertain, and like
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, JCW, they have to do something with him if they haven't already. I'm not well versed in the JCW world. I know a few people here and there, and the guy that hires us is a juggalo in and of himself. So
yeah,
he might know more than us, but yeah, just although well, I can't even say they would want to separate themselves from that because they do basically all that. JCW does a lot of hardcore shows. I mean, they have a
yeah,
guy whose name is Cocaine, so they're not gonna
yeah,
shy away from a dude that's willing to flip onto barbed wire just for
right,
entertainment's sake.
yeah. And
Did,
somebody's willing to do it, and you know,
right. Did you ever do that stuff like growing up doing the backyard wrestling like on a
oh yeah.
trampoline or
We didn't have a trampoline.
mm,
I would, when I was a real little kid, I and I got first interested about wrestling. I was like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. So we're talking like 7, 8, 9 years old here. Um, I would get like stuffed animals or athletic cones, whatever, and I would like take a tape measure, measure out a ring, run around or whatever, and I would just do wrestling crap to like stuffed animals or like a wrestling dummy kind of thing. In the wintertime, you can pile up some snow and do jump off a ladder onto a pile of snow doing a swanton bomb. Oh
hell
yeah,
yeah.
I didn't have any like I have 3 siblings, but I didn't have any that like did anything with me. So like this was all just like me by myself doing random crap in my backyard, and the neighbors being like, "Oh, there goes Chris again, being the lunatic."
We had a friend of mine who his house was always the one that would purchase every single uh, pay-per-view, but he had a little brother that was maybe 4 or 5 years younger than us, and he was the one. Like it was just a little chubby kid that we did every single move we wanted to try on. And then the second I hit him with an RKO and broke his nose, we were like, okay, maybe let's settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I had, much like you, I had three siblings, but they were all older than me. And the only one I could do it on was 2 years older, and he was like half my size. And where it would start in good nature, much like with every brother, like it turns into an actual fist fight within 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think I've only actually been in like one real fight in my life, and it was with my older sister. And I don't even know what happened. We just started yelling at each other. She swung, I ducked, threw a couple kidney punches. She was down. Like so that's as close. That's as close as I've ever gotten to like actually fighting somebody.
And hopefully the only time you've hit a girl.
I think so. Yeah.
Hey, we've all been there. I have my
Yeah.
stories
I
as
was like,
well.
have there been any like indie wrestling rumbles where I've stiffed somebody? I don't know.
That's true. You get occasionally a manager or another a diva wants to get involved. You got to make sure you protect your own.
Oh, absolutely.
So has your kid? I know you've got what, 3 kids now, or
Yeah. Yeah. I just had one like a month and a half ago.
oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
Have the older ones shown any interest in dad's career?
Oh yeah. We're kind of on. They're kind of on a hiatus right now from going to shows, just from Mama having the C-section and would have to take care of a newborn, a 1-year-old that wanders everywhere, and then a almost 6-year-old wandering everywhere. It's a little much right now for her and everything, but before new baby came, yeah, they the oldest Daisy, she loved going to wrestling shows and she gets super excited about it and everything. We don't really watch it on TV, and the few times I've tried just get back into it, she'll be interested for like 2 minutes and then be like, all right, I'm gonna go back play with my Barbies now or whatever. But like whenever there's a show that's usually like, ooh, I want to go see Daddy wrestle. So and then whenever we're at home, their favorite thing in the world to do is when I'm just like hitting them with wrestling moves on the bed or something.
That's always a good.
So it's like, yeah, so they're very much interested in like watching me do this and stuff. And I hope the one day that like barring, major injury that like my long term plan with wrestling is that like I want to be able to do this long enough so when they get old enough, if they want to do it, I can do it with them. But
That's
like
fair.
when they turn 12 and 13, they're like, oh, wrestling's stupid, it's fake, rah, rah, rah. It's like, okay, whatever. I'll hang it up. Like I'm 45, I'll be like 45, 46 then. Like, all right.
It,
I can stop hanging on, but I'm not going to be like, no, you're going to do this because I only made it on the indie scene and you need to relive my dreams for me.
right, you're not going to try to live vicariously through your kids.
Right.
Although there's always that hit one moment where, like, in every kid who watches wrestling, there's always like the moment where you're like, oh my god, this is real. You start to realize it's not real, you lose interest, and then as you become an adult, you like, it's not real, but it's real fucking cool anyways.
Yeah. I get to really break. I mean, one of them's just one and the other one's about to turn six. But like the 6-year-old, as far as I can tell, still thinks it's real, and everything.
Right.
So like, I'm kind of gonna treat it just like Santa. Like when they ask, I'll give them the deets.
Was
But
there ever a
like
moment where they got real concerned about dad being hurt?
all the time, every single match I do, and all that tells me is that I'm selling really well. So
That's true.
like if I lose and like my kid comes up crying to me thinking that like I actually like broke my arm or something, I'll be like, no, I'm okay. Like it just means that just means I did my job.
That's true. You've at least got that demographic sold on the sell.
Yeah.
So you also bring out like a baking pan and everything like that. So you said this persona was kind of inspired by all the cooking shows that you watched, and I know you also have a little rat friend that you bring with you.
Yeah.
Uh, but of course, uh, changed just enough to avoid litigation. The whole character of a chef with a rat companion.
Yeah.
Was this sort of like your first idea of a character, or did you kind of like workshop some other characters before settling on the baker?
When going back very long, when I first started training up in Minnesota where I used to live, like in like 2012, That lasted like 6 months. Before I gave that up because the promoter at the time was like, "You need to get on the roids, brother." And I was like, "I'm done. I'm not. If that's how you're going to be, I'm not doing this." But when I first started training, I think it was like 2017 ish, somewhere in there. It was with IPW and it was with like Gable Galileo. He was in my class and everything. And I had one match before I kind of had to hang it up due to life. And I had some gear that I still have, but it's just like a generic Canadian character, easy heals stuff, whatever. And I still use some of that stuff if I'm booked for like a kind of like a Canadian wild man kind of thing. But during my like life hiatus of wrestling before I came back, C.C. Baker was kind of like it was just really the only character that kind of like popped in my head. I was like, yeah, that's it. Like that's the character, Like I have a bunch of other gimmick ideas that, barring a job that pays me a lot of money to buy infinite amount of gear, that I would love to do. But like, yeah, CC Baker's always kind of the one that I was like, no, like this is it. Like this feels right.
Okay. Well, what's the ideal persona then if you have access to whatever funds you need?
Oh well, I mean, I think CC Baker, I think is to me is like the ideal persona that I could get people to believe in the most and get behind. But for fun personas, I would love to come out with like a classic wrestling singlet. And you know how like when big guys get into their comeback, they like pull down the straps and everything, very classic wrestling.
Right.
I want to do that, but each shoulder has got like 8 straps. So like you hit a punch, pull down one strap. Ooh, a clothesline, another strap. And like it just progresses through the match until you finally fully Hulk up when you get through all your moves and everything.
So
I just think that
it's the magician's handkerchief of singlets.
just keep going. Yeah, just stuff like that's crazy stuff. It's like just fun. I want to one I thought of over the weekend. One of my biggest pet peeves in watching wrestling is guys who wrestle like in a t-shirts or like like a combat vest or something like that. Like you're in a street fight or something that's going to deal with a lot of stuff. Cool, fine, no problem. But like, this is just like generic wrestler A. He's wrestling a singles match and he's wearing a t-shirt where it's like, come on, bro, like what are we doing here?
Right.
And the character I want to do is with my now grown out beard, my long hair wetted, slick it back and everything. I want to get like a wrestling hockey jersey, whatever. And I just want to just like hockey shirt, pull them over or whatever, and just hockey fight them.
Okay, so
And
going back
like,
to the Canadian style.
yeah, it's easy to get, heat that way and everything. But yeah, I think I have a list somewhere written down, but it's just like one-off ideas that I think would just be like, really fun to do. Just not actually build a character around. But I mean,
Oh,
if somebody throws a bunch of money at me, I'll do whatever you want.
oh, of course. I've said that, since I turned 21. You throw
Yeah,
enough money at me, I'll do almost anything.
yeah. Because like, what was it? Who was the guy in WWE that did like that dancing gimmick? Like I want to say like Bros Clay or something like that. Is that the name?
The dance gimmick.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a dancing Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that. Like, or like
I
that
think
was like the character's name, something like that.
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember like watching an interview. The name escapes me and it killed me right now. But yeah, I remember watching an interview or whatever, and he was like, when that idea first came to him and everything, was like, oh man, I kind of wanted to do something else or whatever, blah blah blah. But this is what they're giving me, and my
Was
idea
it
is like
Funkasaurus?
Funkasaurus. Yeah, that's it. And I'm just like, if company came up to me and be like, hey, here's your character, and here's more money than you've seen throughout the rest of your life, I'll be like, sign me up. I don't care.
Right.
you know?
Because yeah, there was a couple of guys that did that. I mean, unfortunately their careers didn't last much longer past the character, but you had guys like I remember on the tail end of me watching WWE, you had a guy, the Eugene, who played like
Oh,
a special needs guy.
I love Eugene's one of my favorite characters of all
Oh yeah,
time. I love Eugene.
there wasn't anything bad. Like I was genuinely surprised to find out he wasn't special needs because
Yeah,
he leaned into that character, and then they were like, no, that was a gimmick the whole time. I'm like, what? Where's his Oscar?
Yeah, it's because wrestlers are really good actors. Wow, shocking that. It's like, wow, why is Dwayne Johnson getting all these acting roles? It's because he's an actor. Like, it's what we do.
That's true. Also, his voicemail says, "Hey, this is Dwayne Johnson. Yes, I'll do it." I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Because what? I just saw Jumanji 3 as if him and Kevin Hart didn't have enough money.
yeah, right.
Excuse me.
But yeah, Dusty Rhodes had the polka dots, and it's
Mm,
like, I think I remember seeing an interview from way back. He was like, "I'll make the polka dots cool," or whatever. It's like, yeah, you have it's a challenge on yourself to do something fun and different, and that's kind of also the whole CC Baker thing, is that like, this isn't something you normally see, so like, it's a challenge for me to like, that I put on myself to be different and still get over, because like, if somebody else did the same thing and they did it just a little bit different, for whatever reason, they might not get over. It's just like, you can go to a wrestling show where fans just want to be entertained by wrestling, and generic wrestler A will get over just from being a wrestler. So it's like, what can I do that to differentiate from that, just to challenge myself? Because maybe I'm just an idiot, but
so what was the obviously we know like the where CC Baker came from and your love for all that. What made you decide instead of just going with the Baker persona, what made you want to add the rat into that? Was it your kids or
no, it just came to me as an idea, and I was like, just kind of looking at like merch ideas, and I found the stuffed rats on Amazon for a pretty decent price and everything, and I was like, okay, I'll, Ratatouille,
that
boom,
is
done, and I just keep
that
one
is
with me and keep it
uh,
in my chef coat pocket.
that's fair. That is I'm sorry, that is the epitome of uh a performer and like, that's how I know you have the mind of one of those because instead of like while you did fit it into the gimmick, much like a comedian, you're like, okay, I can sell this, but also I can sell this on stage to make sure that I make a little bit more than what I was just going to be guaranteed. Like
Yeah,
you get so many comics that like within their first year, and I'm not too far off from that. I'm pretty sure it was my second year that I came up with my merch that like they'll make something on a t-shirt and then write a joke about the shirt just so they can sell it afterwards. There's a
yeah.
there's an old story, God, I forget the comedian's name, but legitimate he had those old magician's wallets where you open it up and it lights on fire?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
He
like the flash paper stuff, whatever it is, and
Ex-
yeah,
he found out he could buy those for like pennies on the dollar and then sell
oh
them for like 5-10 bucks after a show. Never actually had a bit about that, just found the cheapest thing he could buy in bulk and then sold it after shows for a profit.
yeah,
Never had a bit about it.
yeah. It's like, it's a business, and I, as much as I like entertaining, I'm also in the business of making money. And
That's
but
fair.
yeah, it's just like, I was just like trying to think of merch ideas and everything, because I think at the time I tried selling like aprons and hats and everything, but like, I didn't really have a good cheap way to do um designs for them for my income at the time. So I kind of threw that away, and I was just like, okay, I gotta find something else. And also, on top of the whole, maybe I'm just an idiot thing. When I started my wrestling career, I kind of told myself like, I don't want T-shirts for merch.
That's
And
fair.
maybe I'm an idiot, because I've past 6 months or so, I've had probably half a dozen people be like, hey, you should get a T-shirt. I'd buy one or whatever. But it's just like a little challenge I put on myself. Like, what can I do to be different than that's just a T-shirt. T-shirts are cool. Wrestling T-shirts are cool.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's like, I want to challenge myself to think outside the box, come up with other stuff. You know, um, and that's kind of where my new merch, my shorts with the buns, the hamburger buns on the butt, came up
I did
too.
see
Because I was
those.
like, yeah, it's like, it's not a T-shirt, but you can wear a T-shirt and shorts. And
Yeah.
it's also just funny. But yeah, I was just looking for merch ideas and saw the rats, and it kind of clicked. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be stupid not to do that. and then it kind of like took off, and I just keep doing it now, and everything. And I had on Saturday when I did a fair show for APW, I had like 3 or 4 different people come up to me who had bought rats before, and it told me that like they go to sleep with it every night, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. Like that's the stuff, It's like I made it,
Yeah, the memorable stuff. Because, like, I mean, the way I sell my shirts, because I am just the one that decided to make T-shirts, I usually just tell them that they can wear it as a sleep shirt. Because in all fairness, my merch, I've also got one of my last koozies that I decided to keep. You can't necessarily wear this out in public.
Yeah, you could.
You could, but I mean,
Yeah, you
I tell them you could wear it to bed or church.
could.
Those are the best places to wear my kind of merch. But well, we've talked about C.C. Baker. We talked about the persona. Obviously, I'm gonna delve back into that a little bit here occasionally while we have time. But like, I want to get to know more about the wrestler himself. More, let's get to actually know you. We shine it while you've got the spotlight on you. We'll try to get to know you. For one, I've got to ask your go-to PS2 game back in the day because I know you brought it up.
Uh, Probably NFL head coach.
Really, you were a sports
Yeah.
gamer?
Oh, I love sports gaming. Um, I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up. I didn't have the siblings I had weren't really into video games, whatever. I very much was like a single player video gamer, and Madden was always there, and it was always a couple years behind from garage sales because that's just how it was for us growing up and everything. Um, but no, once that came out, and I think 05, 06, I think that was somewhere in that ballpark. Um, yeah, I love management games in general, and then it just kind of evolves into like, oh, well, this is a thing. Okay, cool. And then it's like, oh, and I'll just play this forever. But no, I didn't have any like violent. I think I had no Call of Duty 3. I think I had on the 360 when they had like a remounted one. I don't know,
It
but
all kind
yeah, I
of
didn't have
fuses
really.
together that timeline
Yeah,
with our
I
age.
didn't have any like violent video games, whatever. Growing up, my parents had a big height like no on that stuff. Like I wasn't even allowed to own The Sims. Like it was too,
Really?
yeah, it's too graphic, too graphic.
They
Um,
blurred everything.
it, that's what you get. They're conservative, religious parents
Ah,
and
okay.
everything. Like it kind of the whole like no Simpsons, no Family Guy.
Really?
Yeah, Family Guy, 100% understand. Like
Yeah, I suppose.
like I love Family Guy, but like Daisy's almost 6 now. Like no, can't be watching that no more.
That's fair.
Um, but and like Simpsons, like it's fine, but oh, here's a dad who strangles his kid every episode. Maybe not show that.
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, like even like stuff that I watch now, which is completely fine, but just because it's kind of always booked here, like King of the Hill, no, couldn't watch that.
Hmm.
And that is who my parents are as people. Like it just oh, here's some animated TV shows on Fox. Like, no, can't do that. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, I couldn't have Call of Duties or nothing like that until like I got older and like basically moved out and was able to make my own choices. So it was a lot of single player sports games. And then as I got older and stuff, I evolved into liking RPGs and stuff like that, but all single player Skyrims, Fallouts,
I
you
mean,
know.
yeah, I still fall into the single player gamer because there's more to it. Like I don't think I've ever once picked up Fortnite or anything like that. Like I think the last shooter I ever tried was I think it was like just after the pandemic happened, when Call of Duty Warzone was like not necessarily at its peak, it was kind of on its way down. I was like, it's free, let me give it a shot. And I got into one game and was like griefed for 20 minutes. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm out. Yeah, this
yeah,
isn't for me anymore.
yeah. I think I got into like Modern Warfare 2 and stuff a little bit when I had a couple friends who did play at the time. Um, but like ever since moving out of my parents' house and moving out of my hometown, like I just haven't seen any of my high school friends in 10, 15 years. So it's just like no, I don't like playing with randoms. Like I tried playing Overwatch with my girlfriend a while ago, and if I'm playing with her, it's fine. I still don't like it. It's it's just not for me. We tried playing Marvel Rivals, couldn't
Hmm.
get into that. Every character's got 18 buttons, and I'm just like, I'm done. I don't have time for this. Like,
Dude,
so
as I've progressed more and more, I've gotten way more into cozy games. Like, I have 600 plus hours in Stardew Valley.
yep.
Like,
I never got good at Stardew, but like I like the chill vibe of it. Like
yeah,
yeah. Oh, especially now with kids and everything, it's like, oh, let me play for a little bit. Oh, kids crying. Oh, I only progressed a day or two. Okay, who cares?
right.
You
Yeah,
know?
there's no set goal in Stardew. You just kind of you can start it
Yeah.
up, play for a few minutes, and you can definitely do it while high. That's one of the easiest games to just be baked out of your mind and just go,
Right.
I'm gonna walk around Pelican Town for a while.
I I haven't gotten anything but sober in probably like 6 months or almost a year now, just because is
That's
life.
fair.
But
No.
um, but like Pal World would be the same. Like that's I love Pal World. That's been my like cozy game of late. It's just like let's just you know
I've jumped back and forth to Power World now that they had the 1.0.
yeah, it's just a good chill fun time. Like there's no need to rush nothing. There's you just want to set up your base or whatever. And my autistic ass loves the automation. So
Yep.
like if you could, so it's just like, oh my god, why am I running out of this because I didn't optimize it? Oh, damn it! But it's like you
That
can
and the
also just
little sounds of completion or when you catch one of the
yeah,
pals, like
right,
it's just satisfying to hear like the clinking while they're just building everything.
right. And it's also just not Pokemon and based around children. So
Exactly. We're not and we're not supporting Nintendo this way
yeah,
because
I love Pokemon, but like I haven't played anything since Crystal. So like I still love I love the whole universe and all that stuff and everything, but it's like I'm not a kid no more. And to me, they always just felt like, especially the latest ones, I've seen a lot of I watch like Let's Plays and stuff. There's so much hand holding. I'm like, this isn't
oh dude, it's terrible. I've
like
picked up quite a few because of nephews and I've got two little girls, but in like as someone like when you look at it from the perspective of like okay this is meant to be for kids,
yeah,
yes, but like obviously it's Pokemon, it's been around since you and I were kids, we're the same age, so we've grown up with Pokemon.
yeah,
Like there's gonna be some adults that play it and it's garbage level like game
yeah,
design almost like
yeah,
I would understand if it someone said Pokemon kind of shot themselves in the foot the second they went into 3D, which is what we all hoped for growing up, but
yeah.
realizing now that they're going to put the same effort they did into 2D Pokemon as they are with 3D, there was almost no point in it.
Right. Like one of my biggest like video game wet dreams growing up was always like, why do we have Pokemon Stadium in full 3D and the N64, but not on a home console yet?
Oh, absolutely. Or
Why not?
you had
Like
what was the other one for GameCube? That one was
that
also
was a
3D.
Coliseum.
Coliseum or
I
was
think
it
so.
the one with like the dark
Oh, no, like
Lugia?
was that like Gales of Darkness or something like that? I don't know. Like I said, like I haven't really played anything since Crystal, but I just
That's
know of
fair.
it. But like I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's like, okay, so you can build a battle arena and all these sprites and everything. Okay, you're Nintendo. You've been around since the middle 1800s.
Right.
Take
And it
your
was
infinite
Gale of
money and build
Darkness.
it. Okay, so
So,
it's like build it. Like
right.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a new one that comes out every year, if it's every couple of years, whatever. But it's like take the time and do it.
Yeah, and especially with, it being one of your, pedestal like IPs, like you've got it's Mario, it's Zelda, it's Pokemon.
Yeah,
Like that when you think Nintendo, you think those and they've made millions of dollars on it. I myself have Pokemon stuff all over this house and like even who was it? Like the company that actually makes the games, Niantic, or I believe that's them.
Game Freak still doing
Oh
it.
yeah, Game Freak. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was.
Niantic is Pokemon Go,
Oh yep, that's what I'm thinking
or it
of.
was, but I think they got bought out recently. That's
But yeah, Game Freak. They're coming out with a completely different game outside of Pokemon, and it looks incredible.
yeah,
Like, and so like you have the talent there in the studio. Like But yeah, much like with Call of Duty and things like that, they're just more about like, let's kick out the next one, and let's make as much money as possible.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Fallout, right? Fallout 3 was the thing, and it's like, wow, this is really good and everything. We should make another one. Well, we don't really have the resources right now. We're doing other stuff. Okay, here, other developer, go make this New Vegas and everything, and it's better.
That's true.
Yeah, we're not going to go back to that well. It's like, okay, just but
And
no,
this
it's like
might
I
be a
appreciate.
controversial opinion, but I didn't hate Fallout 4.
I didn't either. I thought it was the biggest gripe I had with Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas is that it was on the 360 and the engine they had kind of made gunplay kind of clunky.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4 was a smooth gunplay.
Yeah.
It's just
The
it was a lot of the stuff kind of just like, oh, this feels kind of like dumbed down and everything. Sure, but you also, it just is what it is. But no, I didn't hate it. I played through it multiple times and had a blast each time.
when it comes to like dumbing things down, like I almost appreciate it a little bit more now that I'm in my 30s because like there are times where because I've got a huge Steam library on this, and like I've also got a GameCube and stuff like that sitting in the living room, but there's times where I will put a game down and I won't touch it for
Yep.
months on end. And so like when I start back up, I go, crap, I don't remember anything about this game.
Yep.
And so like the hand holding, I do appreciate it a little bit more now.
Yeah. So some of it's fine, but like it's some like the let's plays of like some of the Pokemon but it's like you go from like starter town to like the next town
Oh,
and you'll have like 6 different NPCs do like an automated trip around the village or something like that or whatever. And I was like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, let's go let's bring it back to the core of like Gen 1 and Gen 2. Give this to an 8-year-old who can just now learn how to read and almost teach him critical thinking skills like, God, I'm hitting Lear 8 times. Why is it not doing damage? Figure it out.
right.
Figure it out, and then wow, you learned something today, just like there's just like with everything else in life, you got to balance everything. You can't have too much this way, too much that way. The right way is probably just somewhere in the middle.
And then eventually you'll beat the Elite Four by just earthquaking everything.
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, like there are a couple of people like I've got some here on my PC. Like there's some emulators of people that legitimately care about the IP. Like I've got a Pokemon like what's it called? Poke MMO, and that is they've
Oh yeah,
taken
I've heard of it.
yeah everything like from Gen 9 down, and it's 2D graphics, but then they've like it's a full scale online RPG. They've got you can have any single Pokemon you want following you. You progress through each and every town, 1 through 9, I believe, and like the story of that, it's an actual difficulty, like things um level with you and all of that, rather than just trying to like, stay in one town, over level it, and then just plow through everything. You can't do that. It's dynamic leveling. It's actually
That's cool.
they did really good with it. I've even seen guys that are now trying to figure out how to make a Pokemon game that are it looks 2D, but they're fully like 3D rendering it so you can like move the camera around.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. 'Cause I just downloaded something. I think that was it was like Gen 1 Recomp or something like that. I think it was called.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's literally just like you just get like a regular ROM of red, blue, or yellow loaded in, and it's yeah, you can have like a 2.5, or you can put in first person. You can yeah, it's
Uh,
pretty cool. It's yeah,
some of these
fun. It's
people
a
in
fun.
like the modding community, they need far more credit, and like honestly, the second you see like, you get people doing that, or the people that did Stardew Valley Extended, like
Yeah,
some of these companies need to see that and like try to get that talent. Like start
right.
looking in the modding community when you're running low on people.
Well, I I'm curious on how much of that is being looked at, and people just say no because it's like, no, this is just a hobby for me.
That's true.
Um, but I also think like they don't ever run low on people. I mean, maybe it's just like anti-corporate stance on a lot of things, but just like somebody's always laying people off. They're not
Yeah,
wrong people.
that's
You
true. They're
know,
never worried about too few people they have to pay.
yeah. But like with like and the whole, maybe it's the hobby thing. I mean, that could also be the case. Maybe people are asked every now and again, or somebody's reached out and they're just like, no, because I got 3 kids at home. I'm not just going to move across the country for whatever
True.
reason. Because I know growing up in my hometown up in Minnesota, I don't really see it here a lot in Iowa, but a big thing up in Minnesota is like town team baseball. And it's basically just have all these, every single small town has got a baseball team. Some dudes in their 20s, some dudes in their 40s, and it's really competitive baseball. It's just local dude at the factory, can throw a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. But when the Twins come out to, scout the game, offer him, a minor league contract, he's making 3 times as much as the factory than the minor league contract. He's just going to stay home and play on the weekends.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's
Like, who knows what happens there, but I'm also not a modder or coder or anything, so I don't really know how much of that world. But it's just like these companies know these people exist. So like I can't imagine it'd be that difficult to figure out. With money and time, you can figure out anything or who anybody is.
true.
So it's just like, hey, who made that mod? Oh, well, X Lizard 79. Okay, well, shoot him a freaking DM and be like, shoot him 800. Let's get him on board with our dev team.
Right.
So it's like, who knows? I
Or
don't.
you just get the people that throw a bunch of money just to get the source code of the mod, and then
Yeah,
they take control of that, which some people make a living out of, where they just like, hey, I designed this, write me a check and I'll give it to you.
yeah.
Which,
I would love to do. I'd love to be able to do that. I would love to sell out. Like, I don't make that much. I don't make that much money, but it's like, hey, here's $20,000. Go do an ad for Old Spice. Hell yeah, I don't care. Give me
oh
that
yeah,
money.
I think
You
it
know?
was Bam Margera that said something like that, because he was on a podcast and he did, back when Jackass was at its peak, he did an ad for a deodorant company. It was like, I forget which one it was, and he's like, dude, any kid out there that's in their teens or 20s that it's just like, oh, Bam sold out, Bam sold. He's like, yeah, I did. And you know what? I made like a shit ton of money on that ad, and now my body's screwed, so I don't have those people offering me these huge checks anymore. Eventually somebody's going to come in that's just as good as you, or maybe not as good, but is willing to say yes to the check, and they're going to
Right.
make the money. Meanwhile, you've got your pride, but that doesn't pay the bills nowadays.
Right. Like, I would love to be able to, make it on TV for wrestling, and then all of a sudden, wow, this guy's kind of over. Let's throw him some commercials, and actually, do ads for companies I support. But like, first and foremost, like feeding my family's number one. I'd like,
Right.
outside of like a horrifically evil company.
Right.
It's like with video games, right? I've got my gripes with EA and their DLC and everything's microtransaction. If they're gonna throw me a bag, it's fine.
Right.
But like,
There's guys like,
but
I won't do a gambling ad because, my wife
oh,
is
I would do
morally
it.
against it because it's messed up her family. It's messed up so many
Yeah,
families. I won't do gambling and I won't do alcohol because I'm 3 years sober now. So, I mean, other than those that like I'm morally against, anything. And
yeah,
that's why this podcast is brought to you by Blue Chew. I'm kidding.
yeah. No, but no, it's just like 3M. It's like,
Right.
hey, you're knowingly giving people cancer. Screw off.
Exactly.
Here's $1 million. Screw off. Here's $10 million. I can handle a little cancer, but like,
Right.
but it's just like until somebody gets to the point where like you're like actively doing just evil shit.
Right.
It's like
Like,
I'm gonna try my best to like shut those feelings down and feed my
right. Like, I'm against gambling, but if DraftKings wants to pay off my mortgage and both of my cars,
family. Right.
ah.
Yeah. Like, all
Look,
right, I can take a trip down to Vegas once or twice a year. It's all
right.
right.
Like, I'm not I'm not proud of it, but there I mean, it's 2026. Everything's expensive. And if you can figure out a way to do it, why not? Much like,
Right.
I mean, it's not too much of a difference of just finding what's cheap that you can sell for $10 at a merch table.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
if you can justify it and all that, like I'd say I'm not gonna oppose anybody. It's not like the person in the ad is the one doing the awful thing. It's just you're the one willing to take money away from them.
yeah.
This took a weird turn. This went this went from nostalgia to like a moral code kind of thing.
Well, that's life and everything. It's always hanging over. Like so many people like to kind of branch into this. Like so many people like, oh, I don't like talking politics to people. Politics isn't everything.
Right.
It's like you're complaining about your wages. Politics. It's just like it, everything is based one way or another about like this is good, this is bad, and you can always stretch it into stuff.
Yeah, there was a TikTok I saw a long while ago. It was some kid wearing like a punk jacket and all that. He goes, "Can we keep politics out of punk?" And everybody's like, "Do you not listen to punk lyrics at all?"
Yeah,
That's all punk
right.
is.
Yeah, it's like what was that? The Super Bowl last year, Green Day did like the pre-show or whatever, and like someone I don't know if it was Trump was saying something about it. It's like, bro, do you not know what they are?
Right.
Like, it's like what are we doing here, guys? Like,
Well, yeah,
you sign
they
you
tried
sign
doing
people
a
who
Green Day song, and Green Day and Gerard Way came out and was like, "Don't ever use our music again."
yeah, yeah. It's just
All right.
things are in everything, and everything we live in, and it's like is based around money.
Yes.
So like no matter what you're talking about, always kind of at least in my head of always trying to like let's make things better, always kind of drifts that way, unfortunately. But
It's what I've been trying to tell my eldest daughter who's 12 because ironically she's trying to get into coding. So she's got like the little games on there. She wants to be an animator. She loves drawing and everything like that. And so like I've spent the last 10 plus or 11 plus years of my life driving a semi truck,
yeah,
and but now I'm trying to like as of maybe 5 some years ago, uh I mean I started doing comedy 7 years ago, but then like 5 years ago I got into like an accident on one of my other jobs, and I ended up, you know, taking some time off and then going into doing radio out of the blue just because somebody liked the sound of my voice. And I was there for like 3 months and I'd fallen in love with doing radio. And so ever since then, I've had to go back into trucking to pay bills, obviously, because trucking pays so much more. But I've gone back to school and I've done everything I can to, you know, go back into that. And I've tried to instill in my daughter like, hey, it's not always about like what's going to pay you the most. While that is important, you still want to make sure you do what you enjoy. Like find
yeah,
something that you're going to love doing. Like it's a dream job is great, but at least find something that you're not going to be miserable at the second you open your eyes in the morning, and you can make a decent living wage, and I'll 100% support you in that.
right. Yeah, it sucks how everything is just built around like just money and people trying to screw people out of money and everything. Because the job I have now, like 90% of my job, like I love, like it's probably the first job I've had in a while where like I go into work and I don't want to like drive into the oncoming semi and kill myself.
Just make sure it's
It's
not me,
like,
please.
yeah, but it's just like, no, I actively like can wake up in the morning and be fairly energized for work, and it's like, yeah, this job's fine. I like what I do. It just it pays so crappy that it's like almost hard to make ends meet. It's like, well, I'm coming from a job that paid well, but I just was miserable, and it's like there's no middle ground really, So it's just like I'd rather be happy and like barely making ends meet than just like miserable in one day. I'm just like, all right, time to drive off the bridge because I can't take it no more.
Well, hopefully that's not anytime soon. We're gonna, if you ever have one of those moments, I'll get you into trucking. That way you could take some people with you.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was growing up, I always thought the idea of trucking sounded kind of cool and everything because like I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I was always by myself and everything. It's like I heard there was some good money to be made, and it's like I like driving. I mean, obviously I do a lot with wrestling and everything, but it's just like also with wrestling, I hate driving in like big towns.
Mm.
Like, oh, I have a show in Des Moines or something. It's like, nope, not doing it. I don't want to figure out parking there. Like, it's just like, now I got a giant semi to drive through this major city. I don't
Yeah.
think so. You know, but now I
Yeah.
got the family at home, and I'm just like, I can't. I'm not going to be like an on the road trucker and be like, all right, see you, honey. I'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah, no,
It's not happening.
I've never done over the road stuff. It's always been in town. Uh I've over the road pays so much better, but
Yeah,
I can't like leave for that long. Like
right,
I always look for something like home every night, and I've been lucky enough to get jobs like that, not forced into going over the road or even working nights.
right. The only one that I would ever consider for like any kind of trucking job now would be like going through like Walmart or something because it's like yeah, you're gonna be driving in these big cities, but like WalMarts are so accessible off of highways, So it's like
True.
it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like nah, I'd have to like move 3 hours away to the nearest like DC, and it's like it's not happening. Like just for like, hey, what if I like this job? Yeah, I'll brew my family for that.
Yeah, I've yet to get that. Like that's the problem with going into radio is it's so difficult to find a station that's near the house, and like I've expanded it to driving an hour away, but there's so many that are like, "Hey, if you move to Chicago, you could probably get on the air." It's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna uproot my entire family, pull them out of school for a job I might not last 6 months in."
Right? What is the job? Like, am I getting the job, or is like, oh well, if you work here long enough, maybe if you're good enough, it's like no, no.
Right.
Like, oh, this is the job offer. Okay, well now let's talk. You know,
Yeah,
but
but even still, I would have to worry about because my wife also works two jobs. We'd have to find a salon in the area. My kids would have to leave their friends, and it's one of those I would rather make the drive myself and drive
yeah,
however long rather than trying to uproot everything and move it somewhere for a complete life change.
yeah, yeah. Because my girlfriend's a daycare teacher, and
Nice.
thank goodness for her job and everything because we get free daycare for our kids.
Can't
And
complain about that.
no, God no, like it's we would not be living here, and I would not be wrestling if she didn't have that benefit. We do not make that much money.
That's fair.
But it's like when our new kid gets done with daycare in 5 years and he starts going to kindergarten, that benefit's gone, and it's like, okay, well, here we're going to need a long chat. Like, where are we going to live for the next 20 years? Because
Right.
we're not moving until that happens because of that benefit. But like in 5 years' time, and that benefit is gone now because we're not having any more kids. Our oldest Daisy is going to be like 11, 12 ish. Like, yeah, it's kind of oldest, but like she'll have 6 and 8 make new friends in a new place. It's not like, hey, here's these friends you've had for 20 years, all from K through 12, you know. And it's
Right.
like Casey will be 5 or 6, so he won't be affected at all. So it's just like, here's like the window we're going to have to be like, we should have a long conversation. Like, do we want to live here for basically the rest of our lives, or here's our one opportunity to move that's not job based or anything that gives us an out if we want it, and it's not going to like overly negatively affect our kids' schooling.
Right. That, and in fairness, the odds of them sticking with a friend from K through 12 is minimal at best.
Right.
Like,
Like it's well, especially here, like where I live in Ames and everything. Like, who knows what's going to happen with people moving in and out and everything.
right.
It's not like a small town where it's like, oh no, you're just a farm kid. You're here for the next 20 years. Like,
Yeah, like I grew up going to like Des Moines Public. I went to East High, one of the larger graduating classes. I'm still friends with two people there, and those are my only two friends at this point.
yeah,
Like,
I graduated I think with 26, and that was in 2011, and that was the largest graduating class since then.
damn.
So it's just like So, and I'm friends with not a single one. Like, there's like 3 or 4 like friends on Facebook, but like
Right.
it's just I I had enough rough enough childhood trying to make it through with being like ridiculed as the weird kid who just wanted to grow up and be a pro wrestler. Um, then it's just like, no, I don't need these people in my lives. Like, I'll go back up home, and my parents will be like, "Oh, this person was asking about you." No, they weren't. No, they
No,
weren't, Dad. You saw them at church, all the way across the aisle one time, and you're just, I don't know, bringing it up. But like,
you brought me up. They didn't bring me up.
yeah, like, not once did I ever go over to this person's house. They did not ask about me.
All right. Well, speaking of asking about you, we have gone just a little over time. We are pressed for time now. I know I've got to run to my kids, you've got to run to your kids. But just
Yeah.
before we go, uh, where can people find you? Give all your social medias, whatever you want people to check out, and any upcoming shows you want people to check out.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook at CC Baker. I think I have an Instagram maybe, but I don't think I've ever actually uploaded anything there. It's mostly Facebook, and it's very light. I am just the worst at social media. WWE could see my in ring work and be like, okay, there's something there. Check my socials, and there's nothing. So I was like, nope, not doing that guy. So I'm the absolute worst at it. I have no promo pics with my beard. Like,
Hmm.
it's the worst. But people can follow me for shares of future matches on Facebook and stuff. And then as for future shows, I think the end of the month, the next couple Saturdays I have shows, the 22nd and 29th. I'm wrestling for Pro Wrestling Storm. And then I have IMF, I think, one show every month till the end of the year for them on random dates. So
Nice. All right. Well, make sure you follow CC Baker wherever you can find him and tell him to post some more so he can get that lovely engagement. So he can eventually put food on his family's table from taking a bump rather
yeah,
than shelling out to corporate greed.
yeah.
All right, CC. Chris, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was great talking with you.
Thanks for having me on, man.
And that is going to do it for another episode of the State of X podcast. I want to thank my guests Mason Greyskull and Chris Condon, aka CC Baker, for joining me this month. And I want to thank you for sticking around and watching this. If you enjoyed the show, once again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you know each time we put these videos out. And once again, let me know in the comments what you're enjoying about this show, certain segments that you like, certain topics that we talk about, or if there's a specific wrestler you want to see on the show. Let me know all of those things in the comment section, and I will do my best to look at all of them and get back and see what I can do. But for now, have a good night, or good morning, good afternoon. Just have a good one, and take care. Love you.